How's it going, guys? This is Jacob, NightRiderShop.com. I always get an email from people asking me, how much would a Night Rider car cost me if I was to have you build me one? First of all, I don't build Night Rider cars for people. I offered my services, but I stopped a while back, I think about a year or so ago. And the reason why I stopped offering even the service to build a Night Rider car is because it really costs more than what it's worth to build. And if I was to make a Night Rider car and actually do it like for business to make good money off of it, I would have to charge 50, 60 grand for a Night Rider car, because the amount of work that it takes to build one is in the hundreds of hours. And you take 200 hours labor, and that's just very little, you know. And you times that by $100 an hour, a shop would charge. That's $20,000, and that's like a month's worth of work, 200 hours, and that's like 40 hours a week. You know, that'd take a month, and yeah, that'd be like 20 grand worth. And to me, that's what I think it would cost to build one, because the amount of labor in the body work and everything else, building everything else, it's just extreme. So um, the cheapest thing is to build one yourself, if you can, if you have the know-how. And that's why I'm doing these videos, so you guys can learn how to make a Night Rider car on your own. And that's my whole purpose for YouTube right now, is just to teach you guys how it's done. And yeah, I prefer for you guys to do it, because if I was to do one, I would have to charge 50, 60 grand, because it's too much labor. It's too much. And if I charge 30 grand and it costs me 25 to build it, 20, 25, I'm only making 5, 10 grand. And if it takes me 6 months to build it, you do the math. I mean, that's less than a grand, a month. If it's 5 grand profit, if it's 10 grand profit, what are you making in 6 months? A couple grand a month, not even that, 1,500 a month. It's really not that much money if you think about it. And you think it doesn't cost 20 grand? Well, look at the stack I got here. Look at this. This is just on the 89 formula. It's all receipts, and this is just some of the receipts that I got. I got tons of more that from eBay and Amazon, stuff that I bought that's not even here, that they just send you like a message through the email. I paid 3,000 for the car, 2,800 just for the car. And I got lucky. The car had the motor done not too long ago. They paid over $3,300. And I don't know what I got into it so far. I haven't added all this up, but you can see the list is quite long. And this is just some of the stuff that I can think of. I got tons more receipts, and I haven't added them up. If I was to guess, 3, 4, 5, let me see, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got almost 10 grand just on this paper. And that's not everything. So, and that's ZA Electronics. That's my, going on here. That's my Wonder Bar, my aluminum drive shaft, and that's my inner outer tie rods, Pitman arm, ball joints, Moog, idler arm by AC Delco, $300-ish, and that's my paint supplies just for the base and the clear, not including all of the prep, the sandpaper, the prep saw, the compressor, the spray paint. I mean the gun to spray the stuff. So I know I'm into it probably 15 grand by now. 15, 20 grand. Yeah, and it goes quick, just for the Dynamat was $300 for 2 kits. So, and like I said, I got tons more receipts. I can't even begin to find them all. There's some in the email, some on Amazon, some on eBay. So I got tons of receipts, and yeah, I mean, look at this. I got tons of receipts here, and this is like my materials. This is like, different Night Rider buttons that I bought, my headliner material, my door panels, it's just tons of stuff, guys. So I probably got 10 to 15 grand. No, not 10, about 15 grand at least and up. And I'm not even done. I haven't even got the dash electronics in the car. I do have the electronics though, so that's a good thing. But so yeah, let's say I put 15 into it right now. I still need my pod, not my pod, but my lower console buttons. I don't have them all. I still need some of them. And my upper console, I don't have any of those. That's going to be probably 500 bucks for the upper console electronics. And yeah, so probably want to guess another 5 to 1,000 on those little bits and stuff. And then my labor to wire it all up. Now, if you were to pay somebody to do all this, to do the paint that I'm doing, the paint work, that's probably going to cost you a good, I don't know, 4 to 8, 9 grand, depending on the shop and who's doing it. But yeah, paint jobs are not cheap, and I went from red to black, so I had to do the inside and the out. So it's quite a bit of work. And yeah, so if you add that onto the 15 grand, that'd be another, 20, that'd be 20 grand. And then if you pay the shop a couple grand to do all the wiring, and hook everything up for you, you're close to 25,000. But because I did it myself, I'm down there at like 15 grand. So say I was to build this for a customer, and I charge them 30 grand. Or I'm in 15 right now. I think I'm going to be at 20 by the time I wrap it all up. So, that's 10 grand for, I've been working on it probably longer than 6 months. 10,000 profit, and you divide that by 6 months, you're making, a little more than 1,600 per month. And yeah, I mean that's okay, I guess, but it's not like wow, I hit the jackpot or anything like that. It's just an okay thing. It's not something that I would brag about. I guess if you really like the hobby and you like working on the car and you want to get paid that, well, that's fine. But to me, to me, the balance of how much I make and labor and time, it just doesn't add up to me. Um, so that's why I don't build these cars anymore for customers, because it's just the first car I built was 30 grand, and I sold it for a little more than that. So, but yeah, so it's a very expensive hobby. Most people are not going to build these cars in the first year. If you do, you must have quite a bit of money or something, because most people take years to build their cars. Some people are on 10 years still building their cars, and I don't blame them, because if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you got rent, mortgage to pay, you got kids. I got 3 kids. You pretty much got to go, you're gonna go bankrupt trying to build this car. And God knows I've spent too much money on this hobby. And ever since I got back into it 2-3 years ago, like really got into it, and I really wanted to make new stuff, the bill's just been stacking up, and yeah, it's not easy. So yeah, so don't think you can get a car built. You're lucky if you can find one on eBay for 15 grand, 20 grand, if somebody's like desperate for money and they need to get rid of it. But I guarantee you, most of those guys that paid are selling for 15, 20 grand, they probably have 30-ish in the car, unless they just built it like I said. They did a Mako paint job and just threw everything in and did a crappy job. But you can see that by pictures. Usually, sometimes pictures hides it. You can't really tell if it's a nice replica from a good one, because pictures hide a lot. But in person, you'd be able to tell real easily if this car was spent a lot of money to build it, or if it was just put together real crappy. So I hope this helps. I really wanted to make this video, and I'm just kind of rushing to get it done. But I wanted you guys to know about the pricing of all these things. And bumper, $1,000, going, $1,000, $1,000 for the dash, that's 3 grand right there. Electronics, 2 grand, that's 5 grand easy, not including the buttons that you need for all this stuff. So you probably need about 5 to 10 grand just in your Knight Rider parts, and that's if you're being just kind of getting certain things and not going overboard. So yeah, 5 to 10 grand right there off the bat, and most people don't have that kind of money. And if you do, great, congratulations to you, but most people don't. And I don't have that kind of money. I just don't. I live paycheck to paycheck just like everyone else. I don't make that much money in this hobby. Um, I might even be getting out of it because there's just not that many people building these cars anymore, and it's very limited. And I know why. It's people are building as they can go. Like you might only need one bumper, throughout your 10 years of building it, and you finally get your bumper and you're set. Unless you're picky and you want something else or something more authentic or more original looking, or you change your mind on what style you want, you only need one part, one dash, one pod. Okay, you're not going to keep buying these things over and over. And if there's only about 100 people in this hobby, well, there's not too much money to be made off as a businessman in this hobby. So, and what else did I want to say? Mm, if you're a builder of Knight Rider cars, so say somebody asks you, hey, can you build me a car? And you think somebody says, well, I'll give you 25 grand, 30 grand. And you think, wow, I'm going to make a lot of money. I guarantee you, you are not going to make a lot of money. You're going to make maybe a couple grand. And that is if you do all the work. If you go and take it to a shop and they paint it for you, you're going to make even less. So if you're trying to build cars for people, you might want to try to ask in the 40, 50,000 range if you're doing everything. Now, there is some of you guys out there that are sneaky and you're going to try to build these cars, get all the parts, slap them on, maybe do some paint work, and call it done. Now, I'm not talking about you guys because that's not a restoration. That's just a simple paint job with Knight Rider parts. Now, if you're going that route and you got, you're telling the customer, okay, I'll put the Knight Rider parts on for you and that's it, and hook up the electronics. Okay, I can see paying, 20 grand for that. But believe me, they're not going to be doing the brakes, the tires, the motor work, deep good paint job for that price range. But yeah, if somebody's willing to do the work, well then fine. If they want to do it, but I won't. I just can't. I can't build a car for 30 grand and make 5 grand and take me 6 months to do it. Unless I worked on it every day for like 2 months and get it done like in a month or two. Um, if I rushed it. But most people, they don't have the supplies, the Knight Rider parts, the fiberglass parts, the electronics. There's no way you're going to be able to build one that quick unless you had everything in stock. But yeah, if it takes you 3 months, 6 months to build it and you're making 5 grand, it's just ridiculous. I'm sorry. I love the hobby. I love it, but to work for free or for like 5 grand by 6 months, it's less than a grand a month. It's just not going to happen. So that's it for this one. I thought I would just try something new, get some face to face with you guys, and let you know that it's a fun hobby, but it does cost quite a bit of money. I don't mean to discourage you people. That is going to cost a lot of money for people that don't have a lot. If it's your dream car and you really want it and you build it yourself, just take your time, go as you can go. Don't go broke and try to build it at once if you can't. Just go piece by piece if you can, and I think you'll be okay. So that's it for now, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one, and Jacob at nightridershop.com. So if you guys need anything, just let me know.